Coach, they retook the lead there in the second half. You guys had two big drives, two 11-play marches. What was the difference right before that weather delay and right after? What were you guys able to take advantage of on those two possessions?
I think our guys, I think they did a great job staying focused. We were stopping. I give great credit to Texas, and they did some things that were different. But, we were stopping ourselves a little bit. We made some unforced errors at times. See, I got to do a better job calling some plays. But our kids just kept believing. I thought the one drive, and I can't pull it all back exactly what the time was, but we had a false start. I think Jay Sean had a false start. We overcame that, got a first down. Then we took a shot on first down. We gave up a sack, so it's like 2nd and 18. We overcame that, went forward on 4th down and converted. So obviously when you're playing offensive football, it's 11 men doing their job, and the fact that we had two unforced errors, in my opinion. One we jumped and one we didn't block the guy. And we still ended up getting a touchdown. That was impressive. And that's a sign of a team that sticks together and believes, right? Very easy to start pointing the finger, and they're not doing that.
Jerry Brewer, Washington Post.
What was it like for you to manage this day? It was atypical from the beginning, and then you get this delay right at the start of the fourth quarter.
The first quarter was the longest quarter I've ever been in. And I've always called it from upstairs, so I just was starting to think maybe I'm just old and out of shape, but it was a long time standing down there. Really, the delay was a part of it. We've all gone through those. Our kids did a great job. For me, it was different calling it from the field. You talk about the thing I was the most worried about. It was calling the game from the field. I've never done that. And I didn't want to screw that job up. That's my job. I'm the offensive coordinator, and I call the plays. And sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. But I was concerned about that. So our staff did a great job. The guys upstairs did a great job. That was my biggest, going into the game, that was my biggest concern. Our guys, they have their pregame routine. They were going to do what they do. Our staff, we all know what we're going to do. I just got out of the way, which I always try to do on game day.
Jared Goldstein.
Coach Jay Sean with a rushing, receiving, and passing touchdown today. What is it about him as a freshman that makes him so versatile that you can use him in all those ways right away?
He is versatile. He's a very good football player. Obviously, the jet sweep is part of our offense. A lot of guys ran it. His popped, and then they made some adjustments. We missed some opportunities on that. Obviously, the pass was special. What we did after the catch was special. And then obviously the trick play down there in the red zone, we had it. We kind of auditioned it. I think we had 3 or 4 guys throw it in practice. His was the best, and we only going to do it one time, so he won. And that's how it went. So he did a great job. It was really good for him, good for our football team.
Peter.
Coach, hindsight being 2020, do you think you may have been your play calling may have been too conservative after the 2 turnovers?
Yes and no. Obviously, I took a shot there, and I should have. We had a personnel deal on the 4th and an inch out, and so we were jumbled there. Kasim was rushed, and I should have called timeout. So that was bad. And so after that, I didn't want to do anything. Our defense was playing well, and I didn't want to do anything to hurt us. We had the dart coming across there. The ball just got tipped. I think we'd have got a first down there. We had a couple other jets. Obviously, we were trying to use the clock. The last time we had it, certainly we wanted to get them to use all 3 timeouts. Our special teams and defense was great. They got a little more on that punt than we wanted, but every other one we did a great job. So, yeah, maybe. But then if I'd have thrown a pass and been incomplete and they'd had more time, you probably would have asked me why you did that, right? So, and I'm just saying that was in my mind. I was going to make him use all 3 timeouts. We thought we had a shot to get a first down. We ran the 1 jet and we just fell off. So I don't think so. Since we won, I'll stick with it.
Pat right in the front.
Coach, regarding the platooning that occurred a little bit at quarterback and also at the offensive tackle positions, what was the, thinking that went behind that, and is that something that we can expect moving forward at those 2 positions?
At quarterback, Kasim and Pig are great players. They're both really good. I've been part of that one other time when I was in Northern Illinois with Harnish and Lynch, and we did it a little bit. Certainly Chandler was the primary player. There's things that Pig brings to the table. He had a couple good runs, and he took a shot. We took a shot to Avery there in the red zone, and we just missed it. But it was a good play. And I feel like it adds a quarterback run or something defensive staffs don't like to see. So with that and all the other things we do, I think that helps us. And tackle, Derwin was ready to go pregame, and he just didn't feel right. Obviously, he's coming off of an injury, and he's practiced all week, and he just revved it up and didn't feel like he could go. So then Marcus had to play, which was great. We were prepared for that. Marcus Miners had a tremendous spring and fall and was a very, very good football player. And then he got nicked up a little bit, so he came out because of that, and then he went back in the game. So that's what happened there. We had the 6 lineman package going. Ellis was playing tight end some, and we didn't get to do that as much because we ended up going down 2 guys there. That was the tackle part wasn't quite maybe planned, but we were prepared for that.
Don, then Wayne.
Matt, for a defense that has been often maligned, and to come up with 3 turnovers at the end of the game, what can you say about it? And what was the difference at the end of the game to make those plays?
Our players weren't going to be denied. Like I said, I great credit to our defense. I put them in a bad spot on the sneak, on the 40-yard deal, and early we put them in a bad spot. And we put it on the ground, on the safety, and then we didn't punt it very well after the safety. So they had 2 short field touchdowns there. But they played very, very well. They played together. They found a way to get it done. So I don't know what was different. Other than there was a real focus. There was a real focus on this football team to win this game. And we talked about our room, our building, and everybody else outside of our building really doesn't matter. They really don't matter. And that's how we plan. That's how we focus. And that's not being mean or however you want to spin that. But only people that knew how we were going to play with the guys in our building. And I think they had no doubt they were going to win. They convinced me, because I can get nervous about just about anything. But they convinced me.
Just to follow up, what about the parachutes they're talking about?
That's something we talk about with our staff and with our program. Who packed your parachute? There's a name. You guys have probably read it. You guys have probably known something we've done for a few years around where I've been. And just talk about the people who are in our program that do so much for us. Right? Football is the greatest game in the world. It takes so many people. We come in, our food's ready. Only time we don't notice that something's wrong in there is if it's not ready when we walk in, right? Trainers are ready. Shrink staff is ready. Academics is ready. Everybody's there for our players. And having them acknowledge that and understand that, they're the stars, and they should be. They do all the work. But it's been really good. So a lot of them wrote letters to them, thanked them for what they do for them. And we had some posters that they all signed. And they really got into it. Obviously, they talked about it. So I'm proud of them for that. There's a lot of people involved in this deal.
For the defense, who took care of the defense on the field, and if you can say it, who was calling the defensive plays today?
They worked together. Obviously, they worked on this this plan for a long time. We knew we were playing Texas for a long time, right? So all of them as a staff worked together. Coach Barnes was on the field kind of doing that. But then if it's third down with special teams, he would get pulled away. So Jimmy and Azar are both helping on the field too. Chuck and Andy were upstairs, and I listened, but I didn't do anything else. I just listened once in a while.
Did you watch the whole game, or are you more concerned with the offense today?
I don't ever normally watch the defense at all because it just gets me mad. Either way, either they stop them and we don't score, so I'm mad, but obviously I felt like I had to. We had a timeout we needed, so I had to pay attention. But I was still trying to stay out of it. Again, I'm focusing on the offense. I've met with the all defense, said this about 3 times now. I've met with defensive players. They know where I'm at. Care about them. They know where we are. That's the general message of our football team. But I'm focused on the offense, and those guys did a great job.
We have time for 2 or 3 more. Heather.
How important was it to the team to start with 10 players on the field for that first game?
Very important. And thank Tom for that, for allowing us to do that. And they obviously declined the penalty, and that was a class move by Texas. That's something those guys wanted to do. They wanted to go out there and make sure Jordan was remembered, and we did that. And that was all. Again, our players, everything we've done to honor Jordan is from our players. They're the ones who decided it, talked about it, and that was special. It was emotional. It's emotional right now. We start talking about it. Proud of our players.
Bruce.
A couple questions, Coach. Number one, this is actually only Kasim's second or third game.
Right.
No turnovers, 32 points. How do you describe that? And second of all, was that the best scripted first series you ever had?
I don't know about that. He scored, which is good. Kasim, he's got it. I've said it a lot. Kasim's got it. And talk about quarterbacks. What is it? I don't know. Some guys got it and some guys don't. He's got a great knowledge of the game. And he made a couple mistakes. Coming out again, he was a little late on the safety play there, which is too bad. I think we had a shot at a big one. But it's not like he came over and threw a fit. He was frustrated. He came over. He came back and played. We talked about the question about rotating. Some quarterbacks would have an issue, right? If you're going back and forth. Those 2 guys they want to win, and they both want to play like everybody. We got 6 backs who all think they should, carry the ball 40 times a game. We've got wideouts who all think they have 40 catches a game. I mean, we got a lot of good players, there was only one ball. But the way Kasim, and I'm gonna give it to Pig too, and Max started a lot of football games, and now be sitting there. I mean, those three kids they're sticking together and they're special. But Kasim did a nice job. He's a pretty cool dude now. He's a pretty cool dude. He missed a throw. Obviously, he came off and got bumped up a little bit, came out, went right back in. Proud of him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.